All right, we are live for car shopping questions and answers. All we do here is focus on insider strategies. My name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. That's what I'm known as. I spent 14 years in the car business. If this is your first time on a stream with me, can you type the number 1? I always like to shout out the first time people who've never been here. Type the number 1 if this is your first time ever being on one of our streams. Miss Nikki, shout out to you. First time. User 130. I'll butcher your name. Welcome. Kenty, I see you. Welcome. Emily, first time. Welcome. Mike, welcome. Welcome to the new people who've never been here. If you've been here with us before and you know some of the stuff we teach and you've either just learned it or you benefited from it, you already got cars, just type welcome to the first timers. We're a family here. We've been doing this on TikTok and these other platforms for about 3 years now. We've helped thousands of people pay less than everyone else for cars. And we got people all around, collectively right now, we got 2.3 million followers. And all I'm known for is I don't tell jokes. I don't dance. All we do, people know me for helping them save money on cars. That's all I'm known for. So welcome to the people who are first timers. And, Dolan, you can bring on that first question. We got to just keep typing your question because after a while we get so many people on. If you don't get your questions in now, you're probably not going to get it answered. And I'm just being honest because there's more people come on when now we're on Instagram now live. We're on YouTube live. We're on Facebook live. So once these questions start coming in from all these platforms, you're going to have a harder time getting your questions answered. So type them now. Okay, can you explain why someone would pay over sticker price? There's only 3 prices that you can pay for any vehicle, Carla. Market value, above market value, or below market value. Above market value is reserved for the people with no strategy. There are people who just do not have a car buying strategy at all. They would rather get it over with. That's their strategy, get it over with. And they'll close their eyes and sign. They might say no one time, and then they're going to say, all right, I'll take it. And those people pay above market value. They don't have any strategy. That's reserved for them. Market value. That's reserved for the people who negotiate. They're going to feel for the bottom, but they don't actually know where the bottom is. So when you are in a car dealership, you are negotiating. If you're doing this, I warn against this. But again, you're not paying above market value, but I warn against this. Why do I warn against this? Because I spent 14 years in dealerships. You'll never know the bottom. And so if you're trying to feel for the bottom, you are playing a dangerous game because you don't know what rebates we have. You don't know what we own the car for. And so you're now negotiating and making deals based on what you think to be a good deal, what sounds good, what feels right. Dangerous game. Now, sometimes you can gamble and it can work out. But if you, when we talk about this third price, which is below market value is reserved for people who make people bid. And that's what we do. Here at Car, what we do is we make people bid and we guarantee we pay the bottom price. It's very different than negotiating. See, who doesn't like negotiating? Type me. So I know who I'm talking to. If you don't like negotiating, type me. Now remember, negotiators pay market value. They're not going to pay above. You're usually never going to get a negotiator to pay above market value. But they can pay market value because they don't know what the bottom is. Now, when you're getting bids, those of you who are typing me, I see you, Nikki. I see you, Sunshine. I see you, Miss Nikki. I cannot, the best thing for you to do that will get you the greatest results is to stop negotiating and to start making people negotiate with each other. And that is called bids. So you could be the worst negotiator in the world. I see you, Nor. If you have 5 Nissan dealers submitting an offer to you, you're going to pay less than a negotiator. Someone who's in there negotiating with 1 Nissan dealer, you're going to pay less than them, and I'm going to tell you why. 80% of dealers are overpriced. They are never going to give you a below market deal. Who's heard a dealer say, that's my best offer? Most times they're not lying, especially if they let you walk out. If they let you walk out, that's their best offer. But that's not their competition's best offer. Lock that into your mind, because you know what we're big on here, unlearning and relearning. That's why all around me you see it, unlearning, relearning. You're not going to, a Nissan dealer in one city is a different best price than a Nissan dealer in another city. And so when you see how different these prices are, it's going to blow your mind. The same $35,000 Nissan Altima, one dealer is going to sell it over sticker to somebody. One dealer is going to sell it for $2,000 off to somebody else. Another dealer is going to take $4,000 off for someone else. They're all different. So the difference, Carla, is not just because I think we've answered your question on why someone would pay over sticker. They're not doing it because they want to. They're doing it because that's all they know how to do. If this is the best, they're doing that thinking, Carla, this is the best I can get. No one signs a car deal without thinking this is the best I can get. You get what I'm saying? So if they're signing it in their mind, I can't do any better than this. And most times they're right. With no strategy, they're not will. I'm just, this is what it is. We had tons of people during the pandemic paying over sticker for cars, and we all around, while the people we were working with were paying list price and getting discounts still. Felicia came in, she got a BMW in January 2022. January 2022, this is still heavy pandemic. She got a $1,900 discount on her BMW. This is, and you'll see a ton of people. I'll show you, if you guys have been on my streams, you'll see we show a lot of people's deals, because everybody who makes a deal using our system, they send the deals. And so that's the key, strategy. That's the reason. Learn strategy, and remember, there's three prices: above market value for people with no strategy, market values for negotiators, below market values for people who make people bid. Now, if you want to know how to make people bid, we have the best system for doing that. That's my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships, because our entire process involves being at home, except for test drives and pickup of our car. We are not in dealerships negotiating. We're only in dealerships to test drive or pick up our car because they don't deliver. So 90% of what we do, and sometimes 100% with a new car, if they deliver, is done from home. So you can get your copy of my new book for 75% off, normally $97, and then you'll have the 7-step process for what we do. You won't pay $97 if you get there to my bio before that's my welcome offer. Some of you have been on here, you've seen my welcome offer. Book's $97, but you can get yours for $24 in my bio, in my Instagram bio, my TikTok bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, and you'll see. But that's what I'm known for. I'm known for helping people step out of negotiating and come into making people bid. It's a different world. Okay? Go ahead, Dolan. We got a lot more questions coming in, so let me try to speed through a lot more of these. Go ahead. I just totaled a car, thinking of getting a Toyota Highlander. Well, historically, Toyota's been a good car. I would decide first things first, am I going to buy or lease it? Now, buying or leasing, and first of all, I know we got a lot of people. Who's heard you should never lease a car? Type me in the comments if you've heard. Let's just get that right out the way. You heard, Deshone, I heard you should never lease a car. Leasing is like renting. All of that, type me in the comments. You're going to see, if you're new here, we're going to dispel that myth very, very quickly. We spent a lot of time teaching people how much bad information. Who was taught never lease a car? This is the first. Oh, shout out to the people hitting the like button. I see y'all. Thank you. I see you, Facebook. Any platform you're on, if you're enjoying what we're talking about so far and you're going to spend some time with us, just hit the like button and start lighting it up. It means a lot. I appreciate y'all. So all of you that were taught never lease a car, the first thing you should be doing when you go to approach your car deal is deciding if you are going to buy or lease. This is step 1 in my process. Why is this so important? Because if you buy when you should have leased, you're going to lose in depreciation. You guys know, I always say like this. When you consider depreciation, This is your car's value. That's your car's value. If we buy a car today, all right, let's get into some dialogue, okay? Because I think we've been live. I see we got a couple people coming on every platform. Let's get some dialogue going now. Because in the beginning, we need a couple minutes for the people to start focusing and people start locking in once they see what we're talking about. All right, so now, let's say we buy a car, $40,000. What is that car going to be worth 1 year down the road? We bought it here, $40,000. Let's use this person's question when he's asking about a Highlander. Throw some guesses out there. Buy a car now for 40. What's the car worth in 1 year? Throw some numbers out there. Let me see. Let me see if I can go on Instagram because I can't see comments. Let's go dialogue. Throw some numbers out there. Come on. This is an active show. Like, we're talking numbers here. So we talk. This ain't the show you just watch and sit down and be like, oh, okay, yeah. All right, I watched that. Now I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna save thousands on my car. No, the people who get the most out of what we do, you're on your keyboards, you're interacting, you're engaging. I ask you a question, you're answering it. Those are the people that's locked in. So you bought a car for 40. I see 32. I see 35. I see 28. I see 28. I see 20. Emily said that's 20. Or you lose half the car's value in a year. Now watch this. Emily, you might not be wrong depending on how much the person drove. See, I like that answer, Emily, even though, because it's dramatic, it's half the value. But watch this. Could a car that we bought for 40, if we put 100,000 miles on it in 1 year, could it be worth 20 a year later? 1-year-old car, 100,000 miles. Could it be worth half the value? Yes, it can. So now see, all of your answers are correct. All of your answers, 28, 20, 35. Why? Because it depends on how much you drove. Now we're getting into why leasing and the whole myth about leasing. Oh, you got to pay for every mile you use. Well, we just clearly proved the point. We didn't say anything about leasing, but we just proved the point that with a $40,000 car, we pay for what? The miles we use. If we were going to sell a car 1 year, and then a year later we come back and we say, hey, the car has 100,000 miles on it now. Can you pay me what you were going to pay me last year? And they're like, wait, you put 100,000? No, I'm paying you a whole lot less. So you pay whether you buy or lease. You pay for your mileage. So that is the first indicator of, all right, well, that means a lot of this stuff people have been saying about leasing doesn't quite make sense based on that so far. We're not even done yet. We're not even done. Now that we know we pay for our miles, whether we buy or lease, let's talk about when it makes sense to buy and when it makes sense to lease. So no matter what, when you drive your car, you're losing value like this. Brand new car, you're losing value like this. You're losing thousands. You threw out answers, you're going to lose $5,000 the first year, second grand. So you're going to lose thousands of dollars. But the longer you keep the vehicle, the more this depreciation starts to do this. This is the reward stage. In my book, I teach us about something called the reward stage. Unfortunately, a lot of owners never get to the reward stage. The reward stage is a paid-off vehicle that's no longer depreciating fast. This is a vehicle, who has a vehicle outside their house right now that you've had for at least 8 years? Let me know. At least 8 years. And matter of fact, type the number of years you've had the vehicle. That's even better. Let me know the number of years. Deshone, 10 years, 8 years, 12 years, 13 years. This is all see, if I was doing a college course on leasing versus buying, this is exactly how we would be rolling it out. What you're getting right now would be my equivalent to a college course on helping people understand leasing versus buying very clearly. All right, 11 years you've had it. All right, 8 years. And I'm talking more than 8 years. So I see somebody type 6, more than 8 years. Let me know. Not a lot of long-term people. This is a clue. Not a lot of long-term people. Now let me show you this. Now you saw the goal was to get here. We got a lot of people that are buying their vehicles, but they're not getting here. Which means if we know that that buying a depreciating asset, we're losing like this. What I witnessed in the car business for 14 years was people buying their cars, literally losing thousands, and right before their vehicle was going to stop losing money. Like some of these people who have reached a point in depreciate, they've owned the vehicle so long, 8 years, 10 years, that it's no longer depreciating. It's going to be worth about the same next year as it is today. Soon as they get to that, they go and swap and say, all right, I'm tired of this vehicle. Let me go do this again. And they start the whole thing over again. This is what you don't want to do. Maurice, Andre, this is not what you want to be doing. Rita, I see you. You don't want to be buying vehicles that you then trade because you're always on this type of ownership experience. See, we've been, and you know who's very clear about this? Cash buyers. Cash buyers will never swap their vehicles over and over, because if you paid $40,000 for a vehicle and then you came to replace it in 2 years and they told you, well, that vehicle's only worth 28 now or 25, you'd be like, dang, I'm not losing that kind of money. But you know who gets in trouble with this? You know who has the biggest issue understanding leasing versus buying? Somebody I call payment buyers. Payment buyers never really understand the actual price they're paying for the car. They see, what's the first question that a car salesman asks you once he's helped you pick out a car and you're starting to get to the numbers? What's one of the first questions that a car sub, when you pick the car, you're like, I like that car, y'all at the numbers, y'all about to talk numbers. What is one of the first questions that a car salesman is going to ask you? And I'm going to help you understand why. Thank you, Little John. Look, and I don't have to tell you guys this. What do you want your monthly payments to be? Thank you, Carla. Listen, when the car business is predictable. That's the reason I could be on a stream, 100 people ask a question and I know the answers, because I know what you guys deal with and I know what I asked. We're not asking, you're not getting, I'm trying to identify, are you a payment buyer? Because rather than try to educate you on why being a payment buyer is not good, as a car salesman, I need to make you think you won. And the only way you're going to think you won is not me showing you that even though you're getting a low payment, you really lost. As a car salesman is going to try to get you to the payment. That is the goal. And so payment buyers go in and will buy a car and swap it out and then go into another car, and they never realize how much money they lost because their monthly payment is affordable. They don't realize, so what I get you guys to understand here, those of you who are locked in and who really perk up and realize, like, okay, we're talking financial literacy here. Let me lock in. Let me get serious. Let me go get me a cup of tea, drink some water, because we're talking about finances. We're talking about thousands of dollars here. So the leasing versus buying thing is strictly based on depreciation. We threw out numbers based on how much we're going to lose if we buy cars, depending on how much we drive them. $40,000 car, it could be worth 32 in a year. If I drive average miles, if I'm a high mileage driver, who drives more than 18,000 miles a year? Type HM. Let me know. If you are a high mileage driver, you drive more than 18,000 miles a year, type HM. If you bought a car for 40, that car could be worth 28, could be worth 28 in a year. So you're using what's killing you. not your monthly payment. You literally, we didn't talk about that. That doesn't matter. We're talking about what is the value of the car you're driving. That is what's changing based on your usage. That's what you pay for, whether you buy or lease, based on how much you drive. So now that you understand that, how do we pay the least? How do we minimize that? Okay, we're losing that there. Is there a way that instead of losing that 12 grand in a year, I could lose less? That's where the below market lease comes in. Or that's where your long-term buying comes in. In the short term, buying a depreciating asset, you can't win. There's no way you're going to change this. You could think you're buying a car that doesn't depreciate that much. Okay, you want to gamble? Market conditions? Who saw what happened with the electric car owners? Who's witnessing what's happening with the electric car owners, the people who buy them? The electric car market's so volatile right now, people were paying, they got to give them away. They're doing 15 grand off. Look, some of our biggest discounts for our people who listen to us are coming from electric cars. Milligan got $27,000. Look, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, you can see this. Milligan got $27,000 off. Wait, no, that's Melissa's deal. Hold on, we got a lot of deals to show. She bought a $79,000 Mercedes. She got it for $51,000. It's a Mercedes EQE, electric Mercedes. Beautiful. You see these new electric Mercedes? They're gorgeous. They look like beautiful machines on wheels. She got $27,000 off. Sean, he got an F-150 Lightning, $73,000 vehicle. He got $21,000 off of it. That's the brand new market. That means the new market on these electric cars is very soft. They have to discount them. So when you get 5 grand off, 10 grand off electric car, you could be leaving huge money on the table. But the point I'm trying to make is in the buying in the short term, you're dealing with the volatility. When we lease in the short term, we don't have the volatility. Let's take a person who leased an electric car. Look, Zafrina, 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $65,000 vehicle. She's paying $579 a month, no money down. Now, she's not worried about whether the price of the value of that $65,000 Jeep is going to go down to 30. That doesn't matter to her. She's paying $579 a month over the next 3 years. Over the next 3 years to drive a $65,000 vehicle, she's going to pay 21 grand. She doesn't care if the value of this vehicle goes. So leasing protects you against depreciation, but you cannot pay market value. When you see these commercials, you cannot pay those prices. That won't matter. You have to, if you're not getting below market leases, none of this matters. So 2 ways we're going to beat depreciation. Long-term ownership, where it doesn't matter because, all right, first couple years it looks like this, but I own my vehicle so long, now it's barely depreciated. That's going to be 8+ years. That's why rule number 1 in my book, step number 1 in my book is the 8-year rule, which says if you're not buying a vehicle to keep 8 years, you should not be buying. You should be shopping for a below market lease. But those of you who like Deshone, I keep my cars at least 10 years. Should I be leasing? Will that save me money? No, it won't. Don't even think about leasing. Keep doing what you're doing. You have the discipline to keep a vehicle, maintain it. Things go wrong, you're not flipping out of that vehicle. We got a joke. When somebody, a keeper, we call you keepers. When you got a vehicle that you're going to buy, it's a keeper. But when a keeper's transmission goes out, Dad, man, my car transmission went out. What do? They go get another transmission. If you're not a keeper and that transmission goes out, you're like, oh man, I'm getting rid of this car. Keepers do things different. You should not be thinking about leasing when you're a long-term person, and some of you are. But if you're like Deshone, I don't even like doing the maintenance. Man, stuff start breaking. I don't like having to go to the mechanic, fix that. I hate that. You should not be buying these cars. You should be shopping for below-market leases. All right? So that was a long answer to one question, but we used it as an opportunity to really lay the foundation for leasing versus buying, because we had a lot of people who, when I asked them who was taught not to lease, a lot of people said me. So I'm like, all right, we gotta hit on this while these people are locked in. So we'll go deeper on that. Let's go. Let's get to the next question, Dola. Everything I'm teaching is out of my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home: 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Let me show that we're already 5-star rated. Thank you to the people who reviewed it. We got lots of reviews on the book, and you can Google it. You can get your copy for 75% off. It's normally $97. It's a digital book, so it'll be in your inbox in 2 minutes. As long as you get to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments before the 30 minutes is up, you get your copy for $24 instead of $97. But that's my welcome offer. 30 minutes, go get it. You can come back to the stream and you'll have everything we teach. You won't even have to remember any of this because you'll have a blueprint that you can refer to forever. That's going to show you how to get below market leases, below market purchases on new cars, below market used cars. Everything from my 14 years is in that book. All right. Let's go, Dolan. Throw the next question up. Shout out to the sharers. I see you, Brianna. Thank you for sharing. Thank you to the people who share. We couldn't do this without you. The people who hit the like button, who hit the share button, we appreciate you helping us spread this message. All right, Emily, I want to trade my car in. How do I start the process? First thing is to ask yourself, how many years are you going to keep the next car? Before you think about the trade-in, how many years are you going to keep the next car? So everybody who's car shopping now, or you will be soon, I want you to answer this question. Type this. How many years are you going to keep your next car? How many years are you going? I want you to get into the habit of, that's the first question. In my book, when you open it up, after the introduction, step 1, my book is 7 steps. First step, if you call me on the phone, Deshone, I need your advice. I want to buy a car. What's my first step to do? How many years are you going to keep the next car? First question. Let's throw it out. All right, Kelly, 2 to 3. For Countess, 3 years. Okay. Emily, hey, but Countess, great to see you. Emily, 5 to 7. How many years? Everyone who's car shopping, if you know you'll be car shopping now or within the next 6 months, I want you to let me know how many years are you keeping the next car? 10 to 15. Okay, Nisi Woo, perfect. Let's go. Some of you don't know. So because you've never asked yourself that question. And I get it. I get it. You can't invest in a depreciating asset without asking how long you plan to keep it. Any financial advisor who is talking about a stock that is going to go down in the short term would want to know, what is your investment plan? Are you a short-term investor, or are you going to ride the market out? They're asking you that to determine how you can deal with short-term volatility. A person who's not going to keep a stock for 10 years has to plan different than a person who will keep a stock for 10 to 20 years. That's the first question when you're dealing with something volatile. So I want you to ask yourself, all right, I see you, Patrick, 18 years. So look, any one of you who said 5 to 7, 3, you should be shopping for below market leases. If you said 8 or more, I see you, 10 to 15. Patrick, 18 years. You should be shopping for purchases, new or used. Now, we'll keep answering more questions. I always like to prove to people. See, my job is to prove to you, because I'm coming against everything you've been programmed to do with this leasing stuff. But the biggest indicator of a great lease is super low payments. It's just super low payments. Now, you'll hear from people who have gotten leases, they pay market value, they pay above market value, and you hear their payment and you're like, I say to them, what the heck did you lease for? Your payment's so high, you shouldn't have leased. But it's not that I'm sorry, you shouldn't have leased. Your payment's so high, so when you compare a lease to a purchase, a salesman could say to you, well, you might as well just buy the car, because the lease deal they're offering you is so bad that a purchase looks close to it. But when we look at Taupe. Taupe got a $54,000 BMW, $690 a month. That's a 1.26% lease. Her payment is 1.26% of the MSRP with no money down, no taxes, no fees. She gave them $690. She drove off in a $54,000 BMW. Danielle, $44,000 Audi Q3. Her payment is $550, no money down. She gave them $550. She drove off in a $44,000 Audi. This is a vehicle that would normally cost, some of you know our rule, financially, every $5,000 is about how much per month on a loan. Every $5,000 is about how much per month on a loan. Let me see how many people are locked in. Let me see how many people are locked in. Every $5,000 is about how much per month on a loan. Let's see. Thank you for counting. It's $100. Yes, thank you. So I want you to lock these rules into your head, especially those of you who don't have my book. Every $5,000. Yes, I see you, Inspector Joe. Perfect. Lil John, 120. You're little. If the interest rate's high, it could go to 120, but 100 is the good rule to estimate. Kelly, $100. Yes. So $100, which means this $44,000 Audi would cost her about $900 a month on a 5-year loan. Now that's not even including taxes. That's just the MSRP of the car. Now her $550 a month payment does include taxes. So if we were to add up taxes, but I'm just saying, let's say she got a discount. Let's say if the taxes were $3,000, let's say they took $3,000 off the car. Just we're being generous. Her payment's still $900 a month for 5 years. If she took a 6-year loan, maybe she's $800 a month. She's paying $550 for her lease. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it. See, I'm going to prove to you that if you were supposed to lease based on the fact you're not keeping your cars 8 years, but you bought, you lost. There's no way to win. That's why most of you, when you figure this out, you're going to be like, Deshone, should I switch to a lease now? Yes. If you don't have a large amount of negative equity that's going to stop you from switching, you should be getting out of that finance deal and switching to a better finance strategy where you could drive better cars for less money. Look at, luxury cars. It still applies. This is Kimberly. Kimberly got a Maserati, $91,000 vehicle. She got it for $944 a month. That's a 1% lease. Her payment is 1% of the MSRP. Now I didn't create the 1% rule. All the savvy leasers know about the 1% rule. If you can get a lease deal, 1% of the MSRP or less, you stole a vehicle. That's a steal. Now, what I created was the 1.5% rule to know when you're overpaying for a lease. That's in my book. If your lease payment is over 1.5%, you're paying too much for that lease. It's a bad lease program, or either you haven't shopped around. And we don't go into the dealership and say, get me to a 1.5% lease. That's ridiculous. That's like saying, get me to, if Kimberly went into the Maserati deal and said, get me to 1.5%, her payment would be $1,200 a month instead of $900 a month. So it's key is understanding the range where all right, 1.5 is the max where that it makes sense to lease that vehicle. And then anything lower is just better, more and more value. But there's a lot of 1% leases. Greg has a 1% lease, $527 a month on a $56,000 Kia EV6. You saw Zafrina. Look, Jen. Now, this is a higher mileage lease. We had a couple people on here. You typed in HM. I asked every high mileage driver, if you drive more than 18,000 miles a year, type HM into the comments. HM. We had a lot of people type HM. Now, she drives 18,000 miles a year because there's a myth out there. I know all the myths about leasing. Deshone, I thought you couldn't lease if you drove a lot. Okay. We have leases that you can lease literally most cars up to 30,000 miles per year. I see you, Kelly. So when you look at this, Jen, we always shop our leases with 12,000 miles per year. That's how we get our offers. In my book, I teach you how to connect with 25 dealers online in 20 minutes. Our entire shopping process to get below market leases takes no more than 90 minutes. First timers, though, give yourself 3 hours to work the process and to get bids, new cars, used cars, leases. But when she gets these offers, she gets her $39,000 Honda CRV hybrid, $512 a month. That's a 1.3% lease. Once she got her best offer, she found a dealer. We use a system. I created a system called the 25 to 5. We connect with 25 dealers to get 5 offers. Because as I said, which you'll see when you use this, 8 out of 10 dealers, 80% are overpriced. There doesn't matter how much you negotiate, they're not going to beat the lowest price. That's just what they do. If they can't make a bunch of money selling the car, they won't sell it. And that's okay. We don't care about the 80%. We just buy from their competition. We find the 20%. So she gets her 512 a month lease, and then she had them adjust it from 512 to 18,000 miles a year, and it's 563. For 40 something dollars, $45 more a month, she goes from driving 12,000 to 18,000. And that is, see, it's not being a high mileage leaser, unless you have no negotiation, unless you have no shopping strategy, being a high mileage leaser doesn't result in, oh, I'm paying $200-$300 more a month than what I would get. All you're doing is adding a couple more dollars for your high mileage after you've already shopped your best deal, and you can drive as much as you want. Jen can drive her 18,000 miles a year, drop off her Honda after 3 years. If she bought that Honda and drove 18,000 miles, think about how much she'd be depreciating it. In 3 years, she got 56,000 miles. 4 years, she's got 70-something thousand miles. Think about how much that Honda would depreciate in 4 years with 70,000 miles. She's paying $563 a month. She'll drive it for 3 years and go do it again. She's never tying up her money in this vehicle. Not to mention, if she bought that vehicle and did a no money down deal like she did on her lease, $40,000 vehicle, taxes, everything, she's paying $800 a month plus. And she's going to have negative equity because she's depreciating it too much. So these are the principles. The first step, when you said, how do I start the process, Emily? First step is, how many years am I keeping the car? I call it the most important question. That's why it's first. If your answer is 8 or more, we're shopping for a below market purchase. A below market purchase could be a new car, could be a used car. If your answer is less than 8, I'm shopping for a below market lease. That's how you start the process. Step 1. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question. That's why I'm thinking of a 2-year lease. Now, 2-year leases, you only get them if they're advertising them. They don't design leases for 2 years because they want the cars back usually in 3. So 2-year leases usually don't have a good program, no support, bad residual values. They don't want the vehicles coming back in 2. They want them back in 3. So when we reach out to dealers, if there's a great 2-year program, they'll tell us about it. And shout out to y'all. Can y'all keep running those likes up on TikTok? Let's see if we can get to, I don't even know. I don't like to have a goal. Let's just, if you're enjoying what we're doing, every time you tap the screen, every time you hear something you like, just double tap the screen. Y'all see how fast y'all run the likes up. I appreciate y'all. Miss Nikki, when is the best time to buy? Now, that's a great question. Don't fall for marketing. Dealers have convinced you guys, and again, as a former Mercedes salesman, former General Motors salesman, I'm telling you from the inside, they've convinced you that the best time to buy for them is the best time to buy for you. The end of the month, best time to buy for a dealership, because we imagine, we got a lot of people here who, you're professionals, you're in business, and you work in the market. Imagine a business, right, where every single weekend, you were going to get a ton of people, almost without even trying, because something had happened where they thought they were somehow going to get something better that you couldn't offer another time. That's just the way it goes. Like, somehow Friday comes, Saturday comes, it's a line. Now, hey, holiday comes, it's a line. Now, this is great for the dealership because it's work you don't have to do. You don't have to spend a lot of money on advertising at the end of the month. You spend money on advertising when it's dead because you're like, all right, it's nobody in the showroom. We need to get some customers in here. But Miss Nikki, when you ask the best time to buy, let me explain. I want you to lock something in your mind. What a deal is. A deal is when the dealer doesn't really want to make it. A deal is not when a dealer says, send me all your people, I'll give them the same deal. A deal is not when the dealer says, hey, we threw in the floor mats and we threw in a warranty for you. That means they had a lot of money left. A deal is when there's no money left to throw in anything. The deals that I've made that I remember that was so good for the customer, but bad for us as the dealership. Now I don't mean bad like we lost. I mean bad like we didn't make any money. We didn't want to repeat them. And I've had to tell the customers, listen, my business runs off referrals. I would appreciate if you refer friends and family to me, but do not tell them what you're paying, because I might not be able to repeat this deal. I can't promise you that I could repeat this. We don't want to do another deal like this. We'll do the best we can for them, but we can't repeat this. That's a deal. How do we get those? Whenever you see these people that I named and you see these prices and you see these discounts, Milligan got $27,000 off, Kimberly gets $20,000 off her Maserati. Tiffany on her Tiffany gets a Mazda. She got $6,500 off. Look, $44,000 Mazda. She saved 15% off the car. Brand new car. Dealers don't want to make these. These are deals. This is why commercials will never be deals. I want y'all to really, really lock these things into your head, because again, it's smoke and mirrors. It's a fun house. It's a beautiful thing if you own a car dealership. It's a great business because the market's been programmed for decades. It's a fun house. We're going to come in at the end of the month. We're going to come into that. But think about this. Let me ask you a question. Sit up, get to your keyboard. I want to hear answers. When are you more desperate to make a deal? When are you more desperate to take off money and say, look, by any means necessary, I want to sell a car? When the showroom is a zoo and there's 200 people in here and there's balloons and you just ringing the bell, man, how many cars we sold today? 28. Wow, okay. Or when there's no one in the showroom. No one in the showroom, haven't sold the car all day, it's 6 p.m. When are you more desperate? When the showroom's full or empty? Full or empty? Full or empty? Showroom's full or empty? Thank you for Countess. Empty. Empty. Thank you, Nisi. Empty. Kelly. So I can't answer your question properly, Miss Nikki, without giving you the mindset of what a deal really is. And once you see that when they tell you to come is for their benefit, why would I give you a huge discount when there's two people behind you who want the same car? So I really didn't tell you when the best time to buy is yet, but I told you when the worst time is. It's a gamble. If you're in there and you're looking at a bunch of cars and you got people all around you, could you possibly get a desperate person? But there's no desperation vibes there. There's no desperate energy. There's no, we really need to, and you know how they'll fake it. And unfortunately, and again, I don't mind telling all the dealers secrets because I don't like the industry. I don't like what the industry did. The 20%, we're the 20%. We're the honest people. We care about our customers, but we let the wolves eat the sheep. We let the wolves put grandmothers and single mothers and middle-class families into high payments that they know they couldn't have. People charging them over list price. What happened during the pandemic was criminal. $10,000, $20,000 over list price, $5,000. Those people are buried today. Some of you unfortunately were in that bit. You're buried in your car. You bought a car for $40,000 that today is worth 18. You just bought it 2 years ago and you didn't, you're buried because they overcharged people by 10, 15 grand. That was the final straw for me with what I'm going to actually not hold back from what the industry does. So so that's the worst time to buy. The best time, so you can't control when a dealer's desperate. But when you shop the way I'm telling you to shop, when you use these online processes, whether you do it my way or your way, when you're shopping this way, you want to be positioned for a deal. Let me give you an example about position. You're positioned for when a dealer's desperate. I reached out couple years ago for my mother's lease, I was shopping for her. She was buying a Mazda CX-5. Now, I reached out in October, 25 dealers. In my book, I use my system, the 25 to 5. That's what everyone who I showed their lease deal or their new car deal, they use the 25 to 5. Connect with 25 dealers. Purchases, leases, doesn't matter. You get big discounts. The best bidder is always going to beat everyone else by thousands of dollars. Now, I reached out in October. I didn't like the deals. I followed up with all the people who had cars in November. Hey, how did the deals look? Didn't like them. Dealer contacted me the beginning of December. Hey, I couldn't get to your number before. Hey, does this car work? I could get to this payment on it. Ooh, great payment. That's better than everybody else. Let's go. Done deal. He was desperate. See, you don't know when a salesman's gonna go, listen, I haven't sold a car all month. It's the 8th of the month. Look, I got one customer. Their offer was low. We didn't take it last month, but hey, can we do that deal now? Like, I need to get something on the books. Position. That's why in my book, I teach you how to have 2 dates. And in all my strategy, you have 2 dates. My as soon as date, that's as soon as I can make a deal. My no later than date. And when we reach out to dealers, I have a template. You use all my templates, copy and paste when you reach out to dealers on new cars and leases. Used cars is a different process. It's all online marketplaces. But when we connect with 25 dealers, you're using my templates. And one of the things we tell them is, I can buy a car as soon as today, but I don't need a car until this day. Spring. You might say, Deshone, I don't need a car until next summer. That's really when I want to get it, but I can do it now. But I can wait till next summer. That's called leverage. Why? Because you have options. I can order a car. I can wait and watch the deals over a couple months. Like I just told you I did, 3 months, the 3rd month, the best deal came. So when a dealer knows that, see, what they're dealing with is people walking in, no strategy. I need a car this weekend. Cha-ching. Oh man, I've been to several dealerships. Nobody has a car. Oh man, I see you have one. Cha-ching, you're gonna pay more for that. Thanks for telling me that information. This is how everything you say is being used against you. That's why when you use the car from home process, you're not talking. I'm never going to arm you. Remember the people, you might have used it. The scripts online, Google, download these scripts. What to say to a car salesman. Don't tell them you have a trade-in. None of that stuff works. That doesn't work. You don't think people know about that stuff? So that you're dealing with someone who negotiates 3 times a day, 5 days a week on cars. You might negotiate 3 times a day, 5 days a week, office equipment. So the point is, when you are positioned, when you're positioned, which means, I'm not always going to wait till the last minute to start to enter the market. You've been trained to just wait until you need a car to enter the market. I'm telling you that you might be in an emergency now. Look, if you're in an emergency now, you look at somebody like Ansley. Ansley started the process and he did it in 3 days. Got a 1% lease. He said 1 car down, 2 more to go. He's paying. He got a 2024 QX60, $58,000 car, $554 a month, first payment down, which is a no money down lease deal. $554, $58,000 vehicle. That's under 1%. He said, look, I started the process Saturday. I accepted a deal Monday. I told you, our process is a few hours. When you get good, it'll be 90 minutes to 2 hours. You can get any car. But in the beginning, first time, it's going to take you 3 hours, maybe 4. But the point is, positioning is where you want to be. Because when you are connected with so many dealers and they have your information and they know you can make a deal, but you don't have to make a deal now. They know what you want. They're going to get all the people out the way who are desperate now. All right. I see you, Mercy. I see you, Stevie. I know you want a car, but you know what? I can't get to this price. And I got all these people in the showroom now. Let me sell them a car, sell them a car, sell them a car. All right, let me sell them a car. They're not getting good deals, but look, let me just sell them. But they're right here. This is like low-hanging fruit. I see you, Stevie, but you said you don't need a car until later spring. I might make a deal with you, next week or next month, but right now, let me get to these people. Now, all of these people start going. Now, they're looking for people. Man, I ain't got nobody else to sell. Oh, Stevie. Man, I need a deal. All right, see, they can't give you the same deal they're giving all these other people that's in there with the desperate energy. They're gonna give you the, hey, listen, Stevie, and it's not a phone call. I know I'm simulating a phone. We don't talk to dealers. We don't talk on the phone. In fact, one of the things I do when you get my book is we actually set up a shopping phone number, Google Voice, send it to voicemail, so we never talk to dealership. Again, this is a McDonald's system for car buying. But anyway, hey, connect by email. Hey, Stevie, I couldn't get to your number. Miss Anderson, couldn't get to your number before. Can we make a deal now? Because I think I spoke to my manager and I think we could get to your number. Desperate. Call me. Who wants a dealer to reach out to me when you're desperate? Type me. Type me if you're like, yeah, I like the idea of a dealer reaching out to me when they're desperate. That's what we do. That's positioning. I see you, Emily, Jeffrey, Robert. That's the name of the game. Okay? So if there is no you can't time when a dealer is going to be desperate. You can't time, but I tell again, we didn't talk about the best time to buy a car because there's no best time. Again, you can't time that. You can only be positioned on the market to know, and it's a different strategy with used cars. So that's a different strategy. We get positioned a different way and we watch the market with used cars, but you know the worst time. Everyone who's been on here for the last 10 minutes, you now know the worst time to buy a car. Let all the people who want to go in there on Labor Day, go fill those showrooms up. They're going to serve y'all donuts and bagels until you and keep you from leaving. Keep you from leaving, but you're not getting deals. There's no desperation there. We got a line of people. This is time to make money. People doing their most numbers. Hey, how many cars you sell today, man? I did 4. 4? Man, I almost got there. I got 3 though. This is a money-making day. This isn't. You want the salesman after you get your car to be like, dang, I ain't make nothing on that. Make it on the next person, not us. So this is all what Cars from Home is about. My new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps of Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships, teaches you my exact system on how to get below market leases, below market used cars, below market new cars, step by step. I walk you through a 7-step process. Step 7 is delivery. And it's front to back. Everything's accounted for. There's no guesswork. You're not coming up with your own ideas. You bring your goals. You use our strategy. You don't need to bring me your strategy. Leave your strategy out there. Bring me your goals. Deshone, I want this used car. Okay, use this system. I want to lease this. Use this system. And we can even talk about the stuff selling leases. Selling leases. A lot of people didn't know you could sell leases. That's all. So there's stuff in there you're going to be like, whoa, what are you talking about? I might be able to make money on this lease. That's a bonus. You mean to tell me I might get a bonus out of this? I could sell this. So all in there step by step. But you can get your copy for, it's normally $97. You can get your copy for $24, which is 75% off. That's my welcome offer. If you get to my TikTok bio, the link, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments before 30 minutes. That welcome offer is only for 30 minutes. Once that timer hits 0, the price does go back up to $97. It's worth every penny at $97, but 24 is better. So get there, get your book, and after you pay, be sure you screenshot the thank you page. You're going to see on that thank you page is the link to open the book. It says it right there. Click below to open the book in case you want to save it to your phone or your computer. I also email you a copy, but sometimes people type their emails wrong. So also on that page is my support team's email. In case you don't see that email hit your the book hit your email, you typed your email incorrectly. Happens all the time. Email my support team and we'll get you your copy over. So, all right, go get your book and then come on back to the stream before the timer hits 0. Go ahead, Dolan. Mike, what does certified mean on a used car? Great question. Also, how do I negotiate with CarMax no haggling policy? You can't. As far as I know, CarMax does not negotiate. So let's talk about your first question. Certified. Certified is a process of restoring a vehicle that is used to as close to new as possible when it comes to the components. So there's a full checklist of things that the service department is going to do on the car, everything from the windshield wipers to some certified standards. They even repair the upholstery to, just electronics. They're checking. Everything has been checked to make sure that it is of a certain quality. Here's what it does not protect against: previous owners' incompetence or lack of maintenance. So somebody connected with me the other day. They asked me, this is in my private group. I have a private group, so I don't answer private questions. If I'm not answering a question on stream, I can't do DMs, I can't do emails. But they were looking at this car and said, this car, one of the things that is a non-negotiable, remember this. If you have my book, you don't need to remember this. But non-negotiable when buying any used car, service records. We must see a Carfax. We must see service records. That is the biggest indicator of it. Well, there's one more indicator, but this is the actual biggest indicator is the DNA, what I call the DNA of a car. Certain cars have a history of the transmission going at 80, 90, 100,000 miles. You have a high chance of the transmission going at 80, 90, 100,000 miles. It's public record. We do a search. It takes us 5 minutes. Every single car that we are considering buying, you have to check the DNA of the car. With this search, we go to Google, we type in the year, make, model, initial quality, year, make, model, reliability, year, make, model, longevity. If we're buying, if we're leasing, we don't need to check. We don't need to check longevity. And we're skimming Google, those first couple pages. We skim those Google articles to see if there's any bad data from the third-party sites, below average reliability, transmission issues, engine issues. We're going to see that. Now, what we did, that's the checking the DNA. You can't change the DNA of the car. You cannot take a car that has a history of electric problems and change that. Now, you might get lucky and say, wow, I didn't have any. But when it happens, you cannot be mad. It's built, it's the way the car is made. It wasn't your fault. What did I do? I took care of it. I maintained it. I changed the oil. I changed the brake fluid. That's the DNA of the car. So once we check that, now we move into when we actually, now we've decided this car has good DNA. Now let's find the best one. Now that's when we're going to service records, because the car has good DNA. But if an owner did not maintain that car and they can prove it to you, that is not a risk I'm ever going to take. Hey, but I changed the oil myself, man. It's not on the Carfax. I changed the oil myself. I'm sorry. That is not a risk I'm going to take. Because if you did not maintain this car properly, I can't be mad when something happens to it. So that is one of the biggest things that we look for. And they can certify a car, Mike, and it has very limited maintenance history. So you might think, oh, it's certified, it got to be good. If you look at that Carfax and you see serviced at 5,000 miles, 10,000 miles, 30,000 miles, there's a gap there. Wait a minute, what happened between 10,000 and 30,000? Where are the service records? I would never get that car. I don't know. Yet 20,000 miles. Maybe they did change the oil. Maybe they didn't report it, even though places like Jiffy Lube and Anco, small spots, they report. But maybe they didn't. I don't know what happened. And because I don't know what happened, for that reason, I'm out. So, and in terms of CarMax, guys, you're overpaying from CarMax if you're buying exclusively from them. You are overpaying. And I'm going to tell you why. CarMax has a history, so does Carvana, of paying more money than anyone to buy their cars. That's why in 2021, I began to teach people how to do the equity assessment, where we were selling our cars to CarMax, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant, dealers through Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, This is our equity assessment process. We haven't really talked about it much in this stream, but step 2 of our process in my book is the equity assessment. This is when we find out the most money we can get for our current car or our lease if we're selling it. Once we get those 6 offers, that's going to tell us the highest value on the market for our cars. And these are cash offers. These are not like Facebook Marketplace people. These are companies you literally go, they look at the car, they inspect it, they come out, they give you a check. So we get those 6 offers. CarMax has historically been one of the high people who pays the highest. They don't always win. And again, that's why we get 6 offers. So it's no way CarMax is always going. Sometimes it's Driveway. These are the 6 companies. Write these down. If you don't have my book, write this down. The 6 companies that you should get offers from are CarMax, Carvana, Driveway. CarMax, Carvana, Driveway. That's 3 online used car buyers. They operate a special system. They only sell used cars. The next 3 are websites that connect you with a local dealer to get a bid online. And that's Car Guru, Sell My Car, AutoNation, and Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. So we're getting 3 offers from dealers. We're getting 3 offers from the biggest online buyers in the country. 6 offers. CarMax historically is going to win a lot of those bids, which means they're paying more than anyone for their inventory. What does that mean when they go to sell it? Simple economics. You can't buy high and then sell low. You're out of business. So what they're depending on, Mike, is people like, I'm not going to say like you, even though you're asking exclusively at CarMax, seem like you're locked in onto a car at CarMax. And you probably want to haggle because the price is high. If you looked on other websites, in my book, I teach you how to look on 8 marketplaces. 8. Auto Trader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, Carfax. CarMax is on there. Carvana's on there. Driveway's on there. eBay Motors is on there. But CarMax is not exclusively on there because they're going to lose most of the time. And when we shop our markets, what we've seen historically is every car we look at, CarMax is usually not going to win. Sometimes they will, but most times they are not because they pay too much for their cars. So it's no point, and they don't negotiate. And in fact, now that you kind of know this, you understand they can't negotiate. If I paid this much money for this car, I got to sell it for more. I can't lose. So anyway, that's why we never exclusively buy from anyone. Everything we do is a bidding process. Everything we do, someone won. And that's what I want you to experience. I want you to, when you buy a car, when you get a loan, when you sell your car, not trade, if CarMax bought my Jeep in 2020, when did I sell it? 2021. I sold my Jeep. They paid a ridiculous amount of money. They sold that Jeep to someone. They paid me at that time. It doesn't matter. It was a whole lot of money. But they won. They weren't the only offer I got. They won the bid. All the other companies lost. When I leased the vehicle from my mother, they won the bid. Everyone that I showed you so far on this stream, Ansley, the dealer he got this Infiniti from won the bid. He got multiple offers. This dealership won. Jen, when she got her Honda, that dealership won. Tasha, when she got this pre-owned Lexus, the dealership who had this pre-owned Lexus, not even 1 year old, $9,000 off, that dealership won. Where a dealership has to win, and when you start using our process, and again, if you want to try to do this your way, I don't care. Just get bids. Make sure that when you are buying something, you think about what I said about the Prego and ShopRite and Pathmark and Stop and Shop. You can walk into Stop and Shop, see Prego spaghetti sauce, $4.99. You go into Stop and Shop, same Prego, $5.99. You go into Pathmark, it's on sale today, $2.99. Same exact product. The garden vegetable. What's the difference? Where it's being sold from. So that's how you have to view the car market. That Nissan I'm looking at, you have it for one price. What is the dealer who has it? What does he have it for? What does he have it for? What does she have it for? And that's when you're going to win. That's when you're going to see. You got to prove this to yourself. And that's what our entire system is about. Everything we buy, someone won a bid. That's why you could be a horrible negotiator. You're going to win with us because you're not negotiating for a deal. Essentially, all these people are negotiating with each other. So that's to answer your question, Mike. You learned about certified and you learned why I would never exclusively be buying from CarMax. All right, go ahead, Dolan. All right, can we still negotiate in today's market, or is it more shopping online and choosing the best one? No. This is. And look, I never want to assume. I know a couple of you are still. All right. Let's just take this was a sweet question. Somebody just came onto the stream. They asked, "Can we still negotiate in today's market, or is it more shopping online and choosing the best one?" Now, let me say, let's say I'm a very nice car salesman. I consider myself to be a nice guy, but here's the thing: I could be a wolf. So the wolves can be nice guys and nice women. Sharks. Literally take your head off. Look, send you down the road with a smile and look at the money that the dealership made. Man, we made $11,000 off. Our commission's $1,500. The reason I'm saying that is because if you walk in and a nice person can get you to ask them that question. I'll tell you, let me ask you. You seem like a nice guy, Deshone. Let me ask you, man, can we still negotiate? I've been here. I see what the market's doing. I've been here. Can we still negotiate in this market? Now, what a wolf is going to say, and quite honestly, see, because a wolf can lie. 80% of dealers, 80% of salesmen can lie with a straight face. That's why we're looking for the 20%. But you don't know who they are unless you're home. When you're talking to one, you can't say, you're a 20% deal. You know, that Deshone the Auto Advisor, he taught me about people like you. I can tell you're a 20%. No, 20% win. They win. If you ask them that, they're going to say, well, you know, the inventory is limited, right? And you know, there was a strike. You remember last year, it's like we wanted the prices to go down. Like, you know, I always like to make deals for people like you. And, you know, I love being able to take money off and get you to where you want it to be. But pandemic got limited inventory. Then we went and we got a strike. You remember the union worker strike? Now interest rates are very high. There's always going to be something they can say. That's why your innocence and your asking and your trusting of them is what some of you got the car salesman at your barbecue. You're bugging. You're bugging. And let me tell you something. A car salesman who will earn your business each time. This is how you're going to know. This is how you're going to know. When you start using the Cars from Home system and the same dealers, the same people that sold your grandfather cars and your mother cars, and now they've been selling you cars, and they've been selling it for 30 years, they've been in business. Come on now, you know me. When you start saying, all right, Charlie, when they see your name come through on a computer, instead of you walking in the dealership, now they're gonna get on the phone with you. They're gonna try to call you. Hey, Sue. Hey, I just saw you put in an internet inquiry for your car. What? Why didn't you just come in? Why didn't you give me a call? Well, actually, you know, I just I want to do this whole thing online this time. You know, I know we're in 2024, and you know, I don't really love the coming in and spending. I just want to do it online. And you know, I'm just getting a couple offers just to make sure that the price is good. Oh, come on. So when can you, if you hear that, you know he's been making big money on you. He's been making big money on you. And the trust leads to you not shopping. Everyone, and lock this in. See, there's a couple things, mindset things. See, I could teach you the the nuts and bolts, the how-tos. That's the simple. I need you to get the mindset first. When we talk about the things we've been discussing on this stream are more, yes, we're going nuts and bolts, but there's mindsets I want you to lock in. Worst time to buy a car. No longer am I asking the best times. I know the worst times. When we look at the competition aspect, once you start making a dealer compete who you've been buying from, you're going to see that they were making a lot of money on you, and they're going to get mad when you start making them compete. They're going to get mad. And that's what you need. You need to know that. Now, somebody who doesn't care about their money, Deshone, hey, man, listen, man, is it really that serious? No, all right. It's only the second most expensive thing you're going to buy in your life. No, it's not that serious. It's only behind your house. Second most expensive thing, and you're gonna do it every couple years, but it's not that serious. If you'll go and spend $40,000 on a car quicker than you would invest $40,000 in a business. Look, some of you, if you were starting, shout out to the sharers. I see all the people sharing. I appreciate you. I'm glad y'all are enjoying the show. If you were starting a business for 40 grand, how serious would you take that? How serious would you take that? You got lawyers, you have business consultants. You're gonna be like, you're praying, Lord, is this the right thing to do? I don't want to make the wrong decision. This is for same 40,000, but we're going to make a $40,000 decision on a car like that. When we talk, if we were talking right now on this stream about investing 40 grand and protecting, if I was a business consultant, I'm like, hey guys, you're about to invest 40,000, 60,000, 100,000 in a business. Let's make sure you have what you need to protect that so that you don't lose it. People be locked in. Yeah, I can't lose my money. We talk about cars. It's like, Sean, is it really a serious, man? This sounds like you're making cars. Now, this is the easy way because, again, that's programming. That's all that is programming. Why do you think, look, all you see around me is what? Unlearn, right? Unlearn. Because once it clicks that, yeah, I do things with cars that I don't do with other things. Why do I go out and get a $50,000 car in a weekend? Why do I do that and not do real due diligence and shop the market and move the way I would do with anything else? It's programming. That's why if you own the car dealership, the last thing you want is somebody changing. Don't change anything, y'all. Keep this register rolling. Welcome, guys, at the end of the month. You came at the right time. All of that. You don't want it to change. So my goal is to break that programming, get you to see how much money you've lost. We can't think about it. A lot of money been lost by you not having shopping strategy. No problem. Now let's get that money back. Let's make it up. My next deal, not only am I going to save a ton of money, I'm going to enjoy it because I'm doing it from home. But absolutely, we can negotiate in today's market, but we don't negotiate one-to-one. We negotiate one-to-many. One-to-many. That's called getting bids. That's the name of the game. And you can see the money that you can save and that you will save on every single car from now on is going to blow your mind. And you'll be like, look, I think, who was it that says Teddy. Teddy said, look, I will never, this post is a bit wordy, but I'm too pumped. I will repeat, never lease another vehicle any other way. Now, if he had bought it, he would have just bought. This is the same system for new cars and leases. Multiple dealers, 25-5. Look, he said from start to finish, this deal took 6 days. I contacted 25 dealers in 4 nearby states. Look, closed on a 2024 BMW i4 M50, $73,000 vehicle. His payments $856. $73,000 vehicle that would normally be about $1,500. That's about $1,500 a month on a 5-year loan. He gets it for $856. Now, the dealer's initial offer came in at $937. He's paying $856. In my book, I have a calculator where you type it in. It sends you counter offers. I told you, it's a McDonald's system. My book is a McDonald's system. But here's the part I want. This is the most important part of why I'm showing you this. Look, if you're on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, you can see this. My highest offer during this process from a different dealer was $1,123 a month. Think about the Prego, Pathmark, Stop and Shop, ShopRite. Prego spaghetti sauce there, it's $1, $2, $3 difference. Cars, $2,000 difference, $10,000 difference, $8,000 difference from store to store. But here's another thing. Look at what his closest dealer, look, my local dealer came in at $986. That's Charlie. That's Charlie that you know been buying cars from. Look down the street. I'm 20 minutes away from you. What do you mean you want to shop around? Come on, how many years you been buying cars? His closest dealer, $986. If he would have went in there, he would have left $160 a month on the table. You cannot trust these people. Just get out of the emotion. Stop letting them get you emotional, talking numbers in the dealership. Use the car, use the computer. The computer is your friend. I'm going to tell you what websites to go to. Everything you need in terms of power is in your computer. This is the internet. If you can't sit at home, if I couldn't help you sit at home, have dealers bid for your business through email, and if you're shopping for a used car, going on websites and narrowing things down and then looking at the market and then pulling the original price. We haven't talked much about used cars on this stream, but pulling the original price of the car, that's step 5 in my system. You can't get a used car without knowing the original price. Let me say that. See, I'm also answering a lot of questions too. See, the reason why I do this too is because I see we'll have daggone 30 questions waiting, right? But I know as I go over some of this, people are like, oh yeah, that was my question. Oh, that was a question I was gonna ask. I narrowed my search down on my used Infinity truck. I bought it about 2 years ago. It was 3 years old when I bought it. So I use in my book for my used car strategy, you're going to follow what's called the multiple marketplace strategy. We're looking at every marketplace for a used car. We hit a little bit about that earlier with Mike. He was asking about CarMax. You never want to shop one used car marketplace for a number of reasons. That's like you just going to Walmart and not shopping at Amazon, not checking Amazon, not checking Best Buy. You're about to buy a expensive item. So when I narrowed it down, one of the things I noticed, and I never saw this before, but I knew it could happen. One vehicle that I was looking at on Carfax had a different price on cars.com. Now, I know how that happened because being in the dealership, when we update pricing on a used car, it doesn't hit every website the same time. So one of the things I'm big on, and I made a video about it, is you never negotiate on a car without seeing it online. So if you're looking at a car on the showroom and they don't have a price on it, that's a tactic. Never even negotiate on that. When you see a used car and there's no price listed, it's not online, don't negotiate on it because it's a tactic. We can make up a price and they'll just start, negotiating off a made up price. So, but I knew that they lowered the price, but it didn't hit this website yet. It hit this one first. That was showing 32, but this one was still up at 34. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. So if the person only shopped on cars.com, they're going to see the 34 price, right? Makes sense? Type $ if that makes sense. This is the reason why we always want to shop multiple marketplaces. One of the reasons. Now, when we narrowed this thing down, a lot of you end up with your top choices on a used car, right? It's pretty much what everybody does. You look, okay, I like these 4. That's where I was with the Infinity. How you make your decision is very different than how I teach you to make a decision, because you usually just go with your gut or something like that. All right, well, these all look good. They got similar miles. Boom, pictures look good. All right, let me go see this one. Let me tell you why that's the bad choice. I got 4 Infiniti trucks. I'm looking at them. They're all white. I can see they're all similar miles. Lowest one's miles was 26,000. Highest one's miles was what's up, Alex Barty? Maybe 36, 38, maybe. They're all in a mileage range that I liked, right? They're all white. And I'm like, okay. First thing we do is verify fees. First thing we do, verify fees. Some people are not going to charge this price. They're not going to honor that online price. Who's gotten to a dealership? They saw a price online, price looked good. They get in their car. You get in your car. You drove all the way there. When you get there, you found out it wasn't the price. Type me. I would tell you if you're on your phone, type the mad emoji because that just pisses you off. You know, it's a waste of time. Last weekend, somebody just experienced that. Saw the price online, price looked good. Got in the car. Hey, I saw this car price online. You get to the dealership, that wasn't the price. Right? Look, all right, now we got the mad emojis coming in. That happens because they had no intention to sell the car for that. And it's based on, first of all, never do that again. Okay? Never do that again. And because that's why they do it. As long as people keep coming, they're going to keep doing that. So here's what we do. We always verify fees. Call, hey, may I speak to a manager? Hey, I see a car here. Just want to verify, besides the price online, what fees do you charge? Tax, title, DMV. Sounds good. Tax, title, motor vehicle fees. I'm sorry, tax, documentation fee, motor vehicle fees. Those are the 3 real fees. Every dealership I worked at for 14 years, those are the 3 fees. Never had a dealer. There are dealers that just make up fees. Prep fee, marketing fee, internet fee, all of these fees, low jack fee. I've never worked at a dealer that actually had made up fees. I think that's an integrity issue, but there's tons of dealers that do it. You can't waste your time, and I'm going to tell you why. People say, well, if I do that, Deshone, I just walk out. I ain't buying that. Well, you wasted your time. You lost. When you get in your car, drive to a dealer, talk about the car, find out the car's overpriced, leave, drive your car home, you wasted 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of your time. And you still need a car. So you want to verify fees before you come. But now this is what we do. This is the step we take that most people don't take, and I teach you how to do this in my book. I'm looking at the 4 Infinitis. I pulled the original price of the vehicles, and I see that one Infiniti was $46,000 when it was new. One Infiniti was 48,000 when it was new. One was 52,000 when it was new, and one was 54,000 when it was new. Very big difference. See, if you bought a used car in your life, type the letter U. Type the letter U. If you bought a used car, type the letter U. If you did not get the new price of that vehicle, there's no way for you to confirm if you truly got a great discount. You bought the vehicle based on some artificial market value that they tried to show you. Algorithms. If I would have bought the vehicle that had a little lower price, $800 less, but brand new, it was only 46. I just passed on a vehicle with $8,000 more equipment in it, $8,000 more packages in it. This happens a lot with cars. You got special packages, sport package, special edition. See, the benefit to us doing this is when those cars come in, the owners don't usually get the most money for them. The dealers usually pay less because you get a person who had all this nice equipment in their car. When the dealer trades it, which is why we don't trade, so much we couldn't talk about on this show. Like we could be on here for 4 hours just and not repeat a subject. It's just, again, that's why the book is there. But anyway, But if when a person gets all this fancy equipment, most times when they trade it into a dealer, the dealer's not giving them all the money based on those special packages that they got. They're paying them a little more than what the normal would pay. So when they resell it, they're selling it around the normal price, maybe a little more, but it has a lot more equipment. That's value. When I bought this Infinity truck, it was around the same prices of those other four, asking price, but it had a lot more equipment in it, which means it was more value for me. That's the name of the game. We never buy a used car without getting the original window sticker. So this is all in my digital book. Single pay leases. All right, let's talk about that because I don't really get that question a lot. Single pay leases are, first of all, for everybody who this is, if you're like, you've been on the stream for, we've been on an hour and a half almost. This is one. Look, if you're like, Deshone, I'm not gonna remember all of this. I would like everything, the blueprint. That is my new digital book, Cars from Home. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. It's currently 5-star rated. You can Google it, type that title into Google. You will see all the reviews on goodreads.com. It's normally $97. It's a digital book, so it'll be in your inbox in 3 minutes. But if you get to my welcome offer is 75% off. It's for 30 minutes. So you can get it instead of $97, you'll pay $24. If you get to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments or the Facebook comment, there's a link there. And then you'll click the button that says special, welcome offer on book, 75% off. As long as you get there before the timer hits 0, 30 minutes, you can get it for $24. And make sure after you get the book, you screenshot the thank you page because it has my support team's email in case you type your email wrong. But also, as soon as you get the book, you'll see a link to open the book. You might want to just save it right to your phone or your computer right then and there. But I also email you a copy of the book. But we do have people sometimes they're trying to get there before the timer goes and then they type their email wrong. So in case you don't see that book in your inbox in 10 minutes, email my support team. But get there before the 30 minutes is up because even though the book's worth $97, I would never price a book at a price it's not worth. It's worth more than that. I could have did a $247 book. All right, my book's $247. People would know, God, that book's $247. I'm just gonna save some serious money using it, and you would be correct. But I said no, I'm gonna do $97, and then I'm gonna do a welcome offer, just because I want people to have the information. I don't want people to. I want the people to have the information. I don't want money to be a barrier. Oh, the reason I couldn't get Deshone's book and save the money is because it's $247. $97, everyone can get it, especially if you're buying a car. I also teach you how to do, our entire philosophy is based on no money down deals. So everything we shop for is money down optional. So we're going to get below money. We're going to get below market deals. All our leases, we shop with no money down. All our used cars, new cars, no money down. And that's how you should be shopping. Because when you go out and you shop with payments in mind, money down, that just confuses you. You think you got a good deal, but you're really just thinking about your monthly payment. So Kelly, you asking about single pay leases. So single pay leases and multiple security deposits. This is something I call advanced leasing strategies. So when you look, it's in my book. I have a section on multiple security deposits and one pay leases. Now, the purpose of these things is to buy down the interest rate on the lease. So if the interest rate is high on the lease, these options are going to make sense in some cases. And if the interest rate is low, then these options are not going to make sense. Now, you are comparing a single pay lease to a standard lease. Let me pull up somebody who uses our stuff, got a great lease deal to actually use as an example. Let's go. Oh, you know what? Oh, I actually have somebody who I taught who got a single pay lease. Where is Rosalie? Hold on. She didn't do a single pay lease. She did multiple security deposits. So where is Rosalie? Hold on. Okay, because I don't get this question a lot. This question, the reason it's advanced is because everyone doesn't have the additional disposable income to support a multiple security deposit scenario or a single pay lease option. So now, Rosalie, let me read her post. 2024 Infiniti QX60, MSRP 59,975. Said reached out to several of the lowest hold on. She's so excited because Rosalie was a negotiator. So when she started using bidding in Mail Live Easy, she wrote this long post. Hold on. All right. Where's her payment? $592. So her payment's $592 on a $59,000 vehicle. That's a 1% lease, right? So she inquired about multiple security deposits. Multiple security deposits allowed her to now. Well, let me do this because this is some advanced teaching. Again, this is not for everybody, but I do want people. I worked for Mercedes for years. We always had to have one-pay leases and multiple security deposits ready because we had a lot of people who was considering these things. So here's how you consider it. She would be looking at her standard lease deal, $592 a month, $59,000 vehicle, one-pay lease. Add up, what am I paying over 3 years? $592 a month. What am I paying over 3 years? Over 3 years, $21,000 to drive a $60,000 vehicle, not even including the taxes. This does include the taxes. $21,000 to drive a vehicle for 3 years. Now, work me up a multiple security deposit option. Multiple security deposit option, $5,400 she puts down. Monthly payment reduces to $493. Okay, so I'm going to let you hold $5,400. You are going to now use that for 3 years. I get it back at the end of the lease. This is the same thing with a one-pay lease. You're paying all this money up front. They're holding that. They're going to invest it. It's their money for 3 years, but it's in the contract. It comes back to you after. Now, $493. Now, she's giving them $5,400, and her payment's going down from $592 to $493. Let's call that $100. So $100 a month times 36 months, $3,600. So in exchange for me letting you hold $5,400, this is what I'm getting back in terms of net money. This is what I'm saving. See, because if I don't do this, now I'm paying $592 a month. $592 is more than $493. So if I let you hold this, I actually get this back. Now I have an advanced leasing calculator where, if you get my book, if you have my book, because again, these things are proprietary. Like these are our intellectual property. These are proprietary things. These are the things my members use in Cars from Home that shop with me. I have a calculator I invented that you put the first offer in, and then you put the one-pay offer in, and it tells you if it's worth doing. It tells you the return. You're comparing the return. That's all that matters. With a multiple security deposit scenario or a one-pay lease, how much am I getting for letting you use my money? How much net money am I saving for letting you use my money for 3 years? And that's how you view it. Now, in some cases, it doesn't make sense. You'll see, all right, my payment's only dropping by $20 a month for letting you use almost $5,500. That doesn't make financial sense. That's how you weigh it. That's how you weigh it. Great stuff. I don't get to talk about that much, but I'm glad you asked that. So, yes, you will get that money back at the end of the lease. Absolutely. But you're comparing the return. You need to shop the original offer first and then look at what is my offer with it. Oh, you bought the book this morning. Okay, so do me a favor. Send me an email to the book, to the link you got. Do me a favor because who will see this? If you send an email back to that book, then Sandra should see it and just say, Deshone told me reach out for the advanced leasing calculator. Because again, I don't think I have it in my book. It's in my class. I have an online class where I teach this, but just send an email to the same email that you got the book, and I'll send you the link. And then all you do is just get your offers and then get the offers afterwards with the one pay lease, and then just put them into the calculator, and then it'll tell you if it makes sense to do. Okay, a lot of stuff that I've made, I just wait till y'all see what's coming. Anyway, the people who are with me early, you understand, you'll know early, but Car From Home will be, software will be launched very soon. We built 7, in my book, I have 5 calculators that we built. Like, I can't even sit here. These are calculators that you'll be like, yo, the perfect budget calculator. I don't see this on Google. It's not on Google. We invented it. You know, the counter offer calculator for purchases. We invented it. The true value calculator. You put the original price of the MSRP of the used car and then the asking price, and you compare it. That's the true value discount. That's how we shop used cars. So I can't tell you everything that's in the book. It's like, I could tell you, like, I told you, like 20, 30, 40%. You'll see it and be like, wow, it's like, there's tons of surprises in here. I'll link you to videos to watch this. Anyway, this has been one of our longer streams, but I think it was good. Everyone who, you know, you enjoyed it, I'm glad you were here. I'm glad. I hope you got, you know, if you were locked in, you got value, because we went over so much. But a big part of why we have to do things this way, in my book, I have different paths. We're talking to different, you have a different profile than everyone else on here. You're leasing right now. That's a different profile than the person who's purchasing. That's a different profile than the person who's purchasing and needs to replace their old car. That's a different profile than a person who's purchasing and they're a high mileage driver. That's a different profile than a person who wants to pay cash. So the one side, my book is set up in a way where it's passed for each person. If you're leasing, you're not reading about pre-owned cars. You should. That's just going to confuse you. So you pressed it. It keeps you on a path. You're on a certain path. But we're answering questions based on everyone. It's not just you. 20 other people in different scenarios. So that's the reason why one size fits all car buying advice will never work. All of y'all should be doing this. You'll very rarely hear me say that. I'll hear you say, I'll give you a whole principle. Hey, all of you, you should be asking yourself how many years I'm keeping the car so you can determine if I buy or lease. That's a question we all ask, but the answers to it is going to put us in different categories on whether we buy or lease. And then whether we buy, should we buy pre-owned or new? So you need custom strategies. That's what Cars From Home is. It's custom based on your scenario, a specific path for below market leases, below market new cars, below market used cars, high mileage driving strategies. There's two short-term strategies for high mileage drivers: a below market lease, high mileage lease. We talked about Jen earlier, or there is a strategy we call 2 cars, 1 payment, where you buy one car, you shop for a car, your first car, you pay it off, and then you go lease your second car. You have 1 payment, but now you have this car that you put your mileage on. It's kind of going to get old over the 7 to 8 years, but you got your new car that you're rotating, and now neither one of those cars you're putting a lot of miles on. You might do 12,000 on the lease, 12,000 on the old mileage car. And now you got 1 payment and 2 cars. One is a nice car. So these are things that, you know, it's custom. That's why people win with what we do, because it's not a blanket approach. So all of this is in my new digital book. You can grab your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, in the YouTube comments, or in the Facebook comments. Click those links, and then click the button that says 75% off my new book. It's already 5-star rated. You'll have it in your inbox in 3 to 4 minutes. And make sure after you pay, as long as you get there before 30 minutes is up, you will have a 75% discount. You won't pay $97. It'll be $24. And after you pay, save the screenshot with my team's email, because in case you type your email wrong, you have my support team's email. So, all right, I'm gonna check out. This is one of our longest streams, and I need to eat. I need to get some, you know, this water is not doing it for me. So grab your book, continue to unlearn. I want you shop empowered. Step out of the old way. Trust the process. This is McDonald's here. Do not bring your strategy here. Leave your strategy, bring your goal. That's all. Get your book. Bring your goal. Forget the strategies there. This is the McDonald's system. It says the fries, beep, beep, take the fries out, put 2 shakes of salt. Shake, shake. That doesn't mean 3. people will be, hey, Deshone, I went to this website. I got the book. I went to this website, and it says, I looked at the lease deals. It says I need $3,000 down. When did you hear me say in the book, go to a website? Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's okay. Everyone, you just unlearn. Trust the process. You're bringing your old over here. You can't mix old with new. You can't mix. Look, Jesus said you can't put old. You can't put old. Old wine. What do you say? New wine and old wine skins. Don't mix. So when you come to our way, leave everything you learned about shopping at the door. Trust our process. Success is guaranteed. So thanks for chiming in. I'll see y'all on the next stream. God bless you.